My name is Jim Mullins. I come here at your behest to ask permission to speak. I'm a field director for Americans for Prosperity of Kansas, and one of the things that we currently work on, and what I work on a lot, is we do performance reviews on county and city governments. We see how they spend money. And the thing that it's, one of my acronyms is OPM. It's other people's money. It's not your money. It's the taxpayers' money. And I think that I go before a lot of cities and county governments, and I try to remind them that you all were elected to serve in these positions. And you have a duty to not only employees and the capital projects and everything else for the city or the county, and that's fine. But you have a higher duty called a fiduciary duty to the taxpayers of the city of Mission. And you cannot continue to forget that, because the state of Kansas, the federal government, they're all out of control in spending. And you are as well. And I'm not a CPA, so I don't analyze books, but I do work with a lot of CPAs. And I work with county and city governments, and we want to see their books, and we see how they do things. And when we see the spending that doubled from 2000, your bonded debt doubled from 2003 to 2004, and it doubled again from 2005 to 2009. You guys have got a spending out of control, and you need to do something about it. And the other thing that we've done with Johnson County government, we did last fall, and we just did this spring or this fall, this summer, for Sedgwick County government, and we just finished the city of Topeka. And we've looked at the spending that they've done, and they're all, what's happening to them all because of the recession that started in 2008, is revenues have all gone down. But budgeted expenditures, not unexpended, but budgeted expenditures that city commissions and county commissions have approved have gone up in every case. You can't run your household that way. You can't run your business that way. I can't run my business that way, or if I had a business. But my point is you've got to do something about your spending. And I appreciate you letting me speak. Thank you.
I'm Danielle Doolan. I live at 6228 West 61st Terrace. I'm here with my husband, Michael. We've lived in Mission for 3.5 years now, and we're planning to buy a home here in the next 12 months or so. We're really excited about the progress in Mission, and especially about the work with the Downtown Visioning Committee. And we're just here tonight to show support for the transportation utility fee.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joella Hoy at 6125 Walmer Street. My husband and I have owned our home here for 1.5 years now, and I just want to commend you on your work for planning for the future. Tough times call for tough decisions, and I understand that, but I'm willing to pay a little extra, even though it is tough times right now, save a little extra in order to have the services that we need. We need to have roads, sidewalks, walkways, in order to get to the businesses that we patronize here in Mission. And I think the true way, if we really feel that Mission needs to be saved, is make sure that our residents are shopping locally and using the great businesses that we have here. So thank you for the work you've done. I supported it at the focus group. I support it tonight. Good work.
Okay. Anyone else? Oh, yes.
Hi, I'm Largo Leslie Kallenbach. I've been a resident of this area since 1979. We have resided at 6101 Lamar. Initially, I would like to say that I understand the intensity of emotion that has been put forth from everyone who has spoken tonight. I would like to have people reflect on the fact that you are bound to follow Robert's Rules of Order in terms of how you conduct a meeting. And as such, you were not being disrespectful in how you handled someone who requested that a show of hands be given on the part of council members. That simply is outside of how you may in fact conduct your meeting. So I would like that to be reflected as how you need to conduct business as our city council, and not as a sign of disrespect for any of your residents. In addition to that, I would also like to reflect that each of us lives in a community that is part of the United States of America, where we have great opportunities to have a wide divergence of opinion. And we have the opportunity to express it, and for that I know all of us here are incredibly grateful. I know I'm not alone when I say that all of us present do feel grateful that we can come forward, express those opinions, and know that we are being listened to and heard. So I express my personal appreciation for that as well. I would agree with the last two residents that have come forward. I know that change is painful, and I know that change also comes often with a price tag. I do believe that we are in a very tough economic time, both personally and for our city and for our greater government nationally. That certainly goes for our state as well. As such, I think decisions that you make as a city become even more tantamount and crucial and essential. Because if we don't make decisions now that are incredibly wise, we will find ourselves very quickly without a future that is one that can make the city of Mission, that is one that is really viable for families to continue to come here and want to live here, for our seniors to have a place that is really wonderful to grow old in, for our city to be one that is a destination spot to come to for entertainment, to come to because it is as wonderful a city. We may disagree on how we're going to provide our money for it, but I don't think there's anyone here tonight that doesn't believe the city of Mission is really something wonderful. I really respect the difficult position that you all are in. But I also really do respect that each of you comes with a real investment in the job that you have taken on our behalf for all residents of the city of Mission, that you take it seriously and that you do your very best to represent each of us, which means that sometimes you're going to displease some of us. Thank you so much.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
I'm a part-time,
You need to tell us who you are, even though
I'm
I
going
know who
to.
you are. Okay.
I'm a part-time resident of Shawnee. My name is Mike Egan, and part-time resident of Mission. And while I don't live in Mission, I spend a lot of time in Mission. 4 of my favorite businesses are here in Mission: the car wash, the Hy-Vee store, the greatest barbecue joint maybe in America, RJ's Barbecue Shack, and my friend Bob Hartman at Hartman Hardware. Had an opportunity this weekend to drive by Home Depot, Lowe's, Westlake Hardware, and come and do business with Bob because I like him. because I'm not one of those guys that's going to wait in line at Target or Walmart or Lowe's or Home Depot, all of which I own shares in. I drive down here to do business with Bob. But Bob's business is threatened by your irresponsibility. You see, the value of his building, his property, went down $40,000 in value this year. I'm glad you're writing that down. I'm really happy you're doing that. His assessed taxation from the city of Mission went up 140% due to, in my opinion, your actions and your fiduciary irresponsibility in what you've done in this city. I'm not going to be able to go to RG's Barbecue Shack or Hartman Hardware or Hy-Vee or that car wash if you continue down this road. What you've done is horrible. And if you would join forces, join hands with some of your residents and myself and the people at AFP that Mr. Mullen referenced earlier and do a performance audit in your city, you'd be amazed at how much money you could save. It would amaze you. They did it with the county, and they found best practices where they could save money. Most cities don't like to see that. They don't like the transparency. They don't like being told they're spending too much money here, too much money there. We have a saying, if you can open up the yellow pages and find it in the yellow pages, don't hire a full-time employee to do it. I think you seriously need to look at consolidation of services with adjoining cities. You need to get rid of this tough tax. You need to lower taxation overall, and you'll see businesses move into the city, including, Mayor, that beautiful hole that you and I have talked about that's still sitting there. I don't normally get cheers when I talk, mostly jeers. But if you would do what I urged you to do when we talked 2 years ago and fill that hole with a discount store, one that I admittedly own shares in, you'd find out that that store would be on its road to doing about $150 million a year in sales, which would generate more taxes than what Tough will bring to the table. So just do your job right. Let businesses come in, lower taxes, fill the hole with a store, watch the old grocery store across the street get filled, watch the real estate all the way up and down the street prosper, because you know what? The best place to have a retail store is where there's all the action. And that hole has no action. You fill the hole with some action and all the stores on that street will prosper, and you don't need tough taxes. You don't need to be sending Mr. Hartman a 140% increase in his taxation when the value of his property went down $40,000. My last comment's personal. It's addressed to Councilwoman Crane. I read your post where you attacked the Catholic Church here in town. And I got to tell you, you cited the separation of church and state. And I don't know if you're an attorney. I'm assuming you're not an attorney, otherwise it would say JD behind your name. I'm not an attorney. But I just want to give you a little lesson in history. And you might Google the Supreme Court that made that decision. Yeah. And you might notice that the Chief Justice, before he was the Chief Justice, or excuse me, the Justice that wrote that majority opinion, you might also notice that he was a member of the Ku Klux Klan of America, the most anti-Catholic and anti-Jewish organization at the time that opinion was written. Why don't you do that research before you start citing things like separation of church and state? Most of my enmity is reserved for you. With you, council, and mayor, it's strictly business. Thank you.